Sober October Day 6, How Alcohol Affects Our Health. Part 1. What are the effects of alcohol on our health? And are there any benefits specifically to our physical health if we cut out alcohol completely? We could think of alcohol's effect on our physical health in terms of short-term and long-term. Short-term is going to be the immediate impact of alcohol on our system and the effect of alcohol's effect on us physically. So being intoxicated, how does that affect us? We could also think of alcohol's effect on our physical health in terms of long-term implications. So how does alcohol impact our bodies over a long period of time, and what does that do to us? Because of this is going to be a two-parter. And in this part, I'm going to share some of my own experiences and benefits that I've had cutting out alcohol. And then in part 2, I want to explore what research is showing us regarding alcohol and its effects on the body long term. So today, I just want to share my own personal experiences having been a drinker and having now been a non-drinker for several years. First, I want to paint a picture of how alcohol was regularly affecting me. When I was in college, drinking was usually about getting drunk. I've had a handful of episodes, where I blacked out, didn't remember anything that I said or did, and I learned the details from people who witnessed it. Not fun. I had plenty of nights where I ended up with my face in a toilet or throwing up on a street walking home from the bars. Also not fun. Now, this type of alcohol consumption is clearly not good for the body. That's why you throw up. Your body is telling you you can't handle this stuff. Binge drinking clearly has a negative effect on our health. This shouldn't be news. Sadly, we all thought this was hilarious back in the day. We were ignorant, and the truth is alcohol is one of the rare things that you can go buy and drink enough of, and in a short window, it can kill you. Aspartame can't do that. Smoking can't do that. High fructose corn syrup can't do that. I can't go out and OD on Diet Coke. I bring this up because it's easy to see how binge drinking is unhealthy. And that was a part of my past, but that's not really what I'm talking about today. Sometimes we forget or we ignore or we pretend that consistent low levels of alcohol can have a real negative effect on our health and our mood and how we feel physically. It's this habitual drinking, this 1 or 2 or 3 beers, or glasses of wine or drinks most night of the week. And this is really harming us in the short term. And when we're doing it, we get so used to it, we don't always see the impact until we cut out alcohol completely, and then things start to change. That's my experience. This is what happened to me. The biggest benefit when I cut out alcohol was that I was able to stop other behaviors that were unhealthy, and I was able to start new behaviors that were good for me. This is sometimes called a keystone habit, which is a habit that has a ripple effect on other behaviors. Charles Duhigg writes about this in his book, The Power of Habit. So does James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. For me, drinking was a keystone habit because it affected many other things in terms of my physical health. If I drank too much at night, I tended to stay up later, which meant I slept less because I still had to wake up at a certain time regardless. Not only that, but my sleep wasn't good quality sleep. So I had less sleep, lower quality sleep because I drank at night. And well, that meant then my next day started off really rough. So I would drink more coffee to compensate, and I'd tend to eat more sugary stuff early on to get a dose of energy. Midday, I'd finally feel fine, but I'd miss the most productive and important part of my day, the morning. I am a morning person. It's when I think, and it's when I do my best work. But my mornings were now, messed up and jacked up, and so my productivity was affected the rest of the day. And by evening, because I'd taken a lot of caffeine, I'd sometimes turn to alcohol again to get drowsy and tired, which led to this same cycle repeating itself day in, day out. So it really became a cycle that encouraged the same habits and behaviors over and over, all primarily driven by alcohol consumption, a keystone habit. When I changed that habit of drinking consistently and then eventually cut out alcohol completely, it had a ripple effect that changed many other habits, all of which had a positive impact on my health. I found that alcohol ruined my sleep and cutting out alcohol improves my sleep. The common misconception is that when you pass out from drinking too much, you're sleeping just as you normally are. Not true. Alcohol actually hinders our ability to get into REM sleep, which is the deep restorative sleep. So we might pass out and sleep longer, but we actually miss out on some of the benefits of sleep. We were unconscious, but we weren't restored or rested like good sleep provides. And when I cut out drinking, I was able to sleep better, go to sleep earlier, wake up earlier, and wake up feeling much, much better. This rippled throughout my day. I also found that alcohol made it hard to lose weight and much easier to gain it. So cutting out alcohol made it easier to kind of naturally fall back to a normal weight. I remember having one of my favorite beers one night. It's an Imperial Pumpkin Stout. And out of curiosity, I went online and I looked up the calories because that stuff's, not on the bottle. And it was 700 calories. 700 calories in a glass. 2 of those could replace a meal for me. So what would happen is I would eat less actual food and I would drink more of my calories that did not really contribute much in terms of nutrition or nourishment. Couple things on calories from alcohol. And we're not talking about carbs in beer or wine. We're just talking about the alcohol piece of it. Calories from alcohol get prioritized by your body. So because alcohol is a poison, which we'll get into in the part 2 of this, your body wants to break it down first. So other calories in your body from carbs or fat or protein, they kind of go to the end of the line while alcohol is being dealt with first. This means those calories will most likely be stored as fat. Cutting out alcohol didn't make me skinny or anything like that, but it did have an effect on my weight, and it also had a big effect on my energy, and it affects what your body does with the energy. I also found that when I quit drinking, the quality of my diet overall just improved. When you don't take in 700 calories from beer, you can take in 700 calories from actual food, and that food will both fill you up and nourish your body in ways that it needs. I ended up not turning to sugar as early in the day in order to function, which helped me eat better. And personally, when I eat better in the morning, I'm more likely to eat better all day. I also didn't rely on caffeine and whatever else is in energy drinks to help me function first thing in the morning. So sobriety, again, rippled throughout my day in terms of my diet. So in general, when I cut out alcohol, I found myself sleeping better, falling into more of a normal routine of when I sleep and when I wake up. I didn't feel like garbage in the morning, which means I didn't rely on the sugary snacks and the energy drinks to feel better, and my diet improved. And aside from health, my morning routine became almost like rock solid automatic, which sets up my day to think better, deal with stress, and everything else that life throws at me. So what about you? Do you see similar patterns or habits in you in terms of diet and sleep? What is alcohol doing to you? Do you wish you had different habits? What are some new habits you could replace drinking with that'll help you be healthier? Think about these questions today. And now that you've had a few days without alcohol, have you started seeing any benefits in terms of how you feel? That's it for today's podcast. Again, make sure to listen to part 2 when that comes out. We're going to dive into some super helpful research to discover the many, many health benefits long-term from cutting out alcohol. As always, thanks for listening.